Hey friends, Brittany here, functional medicine and holistic health practitioner. And before I get into the do-it-yourself eggshell powder, I want to talk about calcium. We know that calcium is needed for our bone health, but it's also needed for muscles and hormones and our cardiovascular health. So calcium is needed in lots of things in the body, not just our bones, but of course our bones and our teeth are a main one. So not everyone needs to supplement, but if you do, you're going to want to get it from the best form. So talking about calcium deficiency, normally you're going to see deficiency in those that are dairy-free. But what's interesting is that calcium from dairy actually unbalances phosphorus, and this is going to leave the calcium in your body to be incorrectly assimilated and absorbed. So you're really not getting that great of a source from calcium from dairy anyways. Interesting enough, calcium from vegetables are going to be absorbed much better than from dairy. But the only problem is that there's not a high enough calcium content in these veggies, so that is going to make it hard for the average person to get a sufficient amount. So women 30 and over need about 1,000 milligrams per day. Men before the age 50 need about 1,000 milligrams a day, and then adults 65 and over need about 1,500 milligrams a day. So symptoms you might see if you are deficient, sometimes it's asymptomatic. Of course, the big red flag is low bone mass and just leaving you for a greater risk of osteoporosis. You may have an abnormal heart rhythm. You might be experiencing some muscle spasms. You might have numbness or tingling in your extremities, your fingers and your toes. Your nails, they might just be really weak, soft, or brittle. And of course, dental problems are a big one. So those are just a few things to consider. And as I always like to say, you always want to test and not guess. So get with your doctor or your practitioner and see if you do have a deficiency before you bring in supplementation. And if you don't have anyone, I would love to help you figure out if you are indeed deficient in calcium. So why eggshell powder? So this is what the whole video is about. I want to teach you guys how to make this amazing source of calcium. So research is showing that the body cannot properly absorb calcium supplements. Why? Because it's synthetic. And then the type of form is just the body's not breaking it down. It's not getting where it needs to go. The synthetic supplementation leads to calcification in the arteries, so it's building up in places where it shouldn't. It should be building up in your bones and in your teeth, but they are actually getting deposited into the arteries. So where should we get our calcium? From the best place, of course, our food. So calcium from food is always going to be more bioavailable to the body than synthetic supplements, and eggshells are a calcium-rich food. The eggshell is made of calcium carbonate crystals. And what's awesome is that eggshells also contain other trace minerals in it as well, not just the calcium carbonate. But the calcium carbonate crystals are going to provide a sufficient amount of bioavailable calcium to the body. And you just need about a half teaspoon every day. You could just throw it into your smoothie. Can't even taste it, and it's just going to give you the calcium that you need. So this is going to ensure that you have proper bone health and proper cardiovascular health, and studies have even shown that the membrane within the eggshell relieves joint pain. It's amazing. So you're going to have that membrane in this eggshell powder, so you're going to benefit from that as well. And another study showed that this eggshell powder can remineralize tooth enamel. So if you have a cavity or you just have poor dental health overall, this is going to be great for your teeth. It is totally possible to reverse tooth decay and to remineralize the tooth that has a cavity in it. So you don't have to go to the dentist to get a filling. If you just need to catch it right away, and just takes a little work, but it is possible. And so next, here is just the study showing of the membrane that's within the eggshell, and how they found great results for joint pain. So if you want to geek out, just go back into that study and you can read more on that. Here's another study just showing how the eggshell powder can remineralize the tooth enamel. So without further ado, let's just jump right in on how to make this awesome eggshell powder. So first, you're going to want to get pasture raised eggs. It's very important that it's pasture raised. Once you have all the shells rinsed, you're going to want to fill up a big pot of water and bring it to a boil, and just toss in as many eggshells will fit. I kind of did a lot of eggshells this time around. You don't have to do this many. I think I did about 6 cartons. So I just save the shells as we go through them. We go through them pretty fast because I have a big family. So go ahead and boil these shells for about 10 minutes. After they boiled for 10 minutes, just go ahead and strain the shells, and you're going to want to lay them out onto a towel so they can just dry a little bit. So I just laid them all out. And I let them lay out probably for an hour or two, and then I transferred them onto cookie sheets, and you're going to want to let them dry overnight. And once you let them dry overnight, you can place them into the oven at 225 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. And once they are done baking, you can let them cool off, and you're just going to want to toss them into a coffee grinder. I don't have a coffee grinder, but I have a nut and spice grinder, and that'll work just as well. So I just kind of grab some, and I also crunch them down. I don't leave the shell too bulky, so I crunch them in as I put it into the grinder, and that just helps it. So you're just going to grind it until it becomes fine, and it's really that simple, guys. You're going to have a really great source of bioavailable calcium for your body from these eggshells. And you want to remember that supplementation for bone support goes beyond calcium. Calcium is only one of at least 12 other minerals for bone health, because our bones are made of course, calcium, but they're also made of potassium and magnesium and iron and selenium and phosphorus and sulfur and zinc and a few others. So I just hope that this was helpful, and I challenge you guys to make some of this eggshell powder. It has such great benefits, you guys. I am one that is dairy free, and I found that I wasn't getting enough calcium myself. So this is how I get my calcium in, but I also make sure that I am taking a vitamin D with the K2, because you're going to want your vitamin D and K2 to help transfer the calcium where it needs to go, and also help it from getting deposited into the wrong areas like your arteries. And you're also going to want to be taking magnesium as well. So just talk to your doctor before this. And like I said, if you don't have one, I am a holistic health practitioner and I can help you with these things. But this is just a great way to get it in, and I just wanted to share with you guys. Just like to share some of my favorite things on here, in hopes that it'll help you make these changes and to get you into better health. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.